green on today, Judy. Those. Oh my. Are you good?
No, I have a headache.
Oh no. So, before we do anything, Judy, this is yours.
What?
This is from Kelby.
Aww.
He made you a candle.
Oh, that was sweet.
And you have to smell it because it smells amazing.
Judy's blueberry paint.
It smells so good.
Oh my gosh.
I know, and it's a wooden wick.
Oh,
which is nice.
This is awesome.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna love it.
Oh, thank you so much.
And I love that it says Judy's candle. Oh my God.
Well, we got a lot of snow, dear.
We got 17 inches of snow in
Yes.
our city, and it was definitely not expected.
And it was like crazy.
We knew that we were going to get
They said 2 to 5.
yeah, like I was literally thinking, okay, we'll probably get like 3 inches, it'll melt, we'll be good to go, blah blah blah. Sun is bright today.
And the weird thing is it didn't start, it started at like 6:30 in the morning, 6:30, 6:45.
Yeah.
And it went from nothing to
Whiteout conditions.
whiteout.
This is a little too much for me.
Craziness. Yeah, then we had a funeral to go to.
Oh, that's right.
The roads were horrendous.
I'm sure. That's what they were saying.
It was local, so that's why we still went. But
Right.
if it would have been out of our city, we probably wouldn't have, because
Yeah.
this one guy came from the Watoma area, and he drove.
Was that north?
Northwest, I believe.
I feel like all the all those things, all those names, they're all north.
But it took him over 2 hours.
Holy shit.
It's usually like a 45-minute drive. Or so.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad, but it melted fast. It's still
We're down
melting.
about 15. What time?
Yeah.
We're about 15.
Yeah. What's happening? You're looking at. I feel like you're looking. What's happening?
And some people who didn't clean up.
Oh, yes.
It's good my way.
Oh, good. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a little crazy for
Yes.
end of March.
Yes. Went out like a lion. Hopefully April comes in like a lamb.
Well, we'll see here.
Oh, I feel stressed. So,
What'd you do this weekend?
well, I went to go get my taxes done yesterday.
Uh-oh. How bad? Or not as bad as you had anticipated?
The worst.
No.
I'm very stressed. I have a pit in my stomach. So if any of you have gone to H&R Block, leave your comments down below on that company. I'm going to pick up my W-2s today, and I'm going to my old tax guy.
Uh-oh, there's a story there.
There's a huge story. So I went in. I met the guy. He was there with another woman. And he introduced himself. We went back to his office, his little cubicle area, sat down, and he took about 10-15 minutes to tell me his whole life story. That he was a farmer, grew up in Neenah, lived in Mahler. He's a no-nonsense. He's got a regular job, but he does this H&R Block on the side. Blah, blah, blah. I was, nice gentleman, whatever, but I was there to get my taxes done. I didn't really need your background. I knew I was at H&R Block, So I didn't need to know what everything else he was telling me. So then it came time, like I showed him all of my papers, all of my W-2s and 1099s and 499s and whatever the bumfuck I had. Because I had 5 different entities to claim. Like 2 W-2s, other miscellaneouses, all these other things. And then because I mailed my taxes last year and they didn't get to them before April 15th, that's why I was charged interest. So that makes sense. Okay, so anyway, so he started filing my taxes. He asked me, well, first of all, he started calling me Angie. I let it slide. First, well, he said, do people call you Angie? And then I looked at the computer because he had like a sharing screen. I'm like, oh, you misspelled my name. You forgot to put an A for Angela. It was Angel. And I thought, okay, I'm catching that, but whatever. Like, we're on level 1, my name. So then, so I didn't even answer his question about the Angie thing, and he just continued to call me Angie. So I don't even know. I just lost my train of thought. So to make a long story short, he went through everything and was basically telling me that because I want to claim mileage for YouTube, because I record when Judy and I are in the car, even though it is a commute, he told me that every single day I need to carry a notebook with me, because I told him I upload a video every day. Sometimes I'm in the car, sometimes I'm not, whatever. And I need to press my speedometer or whatever, the button, and write down my mileage. Bitch doesn't have time for that. I can barely keep my life together right now as it is. You think I'm going to be carrying a notebook and writing numbers down? That's not my life. So I'm like, okay, like, okay. You know, just agreeing, like, yeah, I'll do it, but it's not going to happen. So then he takes all of my, like, files or whatever, and he tries to get me to sign this thing. You know, like one of those things that it's like attached to their computer, but then there's a pad. So first he said that it was going to be around $400 with all of these things. All of my extra things. It was going to be $400 for me to pay him to do my taxes.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay. And like, I felt like I was already stressed out as it was. So I was just like, just fucking do it. Like, just, okay, let's like go. Because I thought, okay, let's rip the Band-Aid off, get it done. I don't want to talk about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't. Because I'm a very anxious person. So then he said, he asked me my birth date. And I told him. And he said, oh my gosh. He's like, I have a daughter that's born in 84. He's like, I thought that you were her age. And he's like, you look really good for your age. And I was just like, I don't need to hear that. Like, I don't know what's happening here. It was just it was like a weird comment. Like, okay, I know people tell me that I look young, but I feel like the reason why some people do tell me that I look young on the computer is because I do use a filter. Like on all of my pictures that I upload on Snapchat, whatever. Like this, I can't use a filter because it is what it is. But like when he said that, I was just like, I felt really uneasy.
Yeah.
Like what's happening? So then, so he does everything, and he was unsure about whether I had a business or this was a hobby. And I'm like, and I brought my taxes from the previous year. And I'm like, well, why don't you, because he kept on like questioning things. And I thought, I had to make an appointment with you specialty because I couldn't see anyone else at H&R Block because you were supposed to specialize in this. So, and he had never gone on YouTube. He didn't know anything about it. He started asking me questions too, like, because I had to tell him about my OF. And he's like, well, what kind of videos do you make? And I thought, I don't need to tell you that. And I'm like, oh, it has to do with my nails, like finger tapping. And he's like, what? And I'm like, just like, don't worry about it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not here to explain my life to you. I'm here to get my taxes done. I wish this was bigger. My pink one was bigger. So anyway, he enters in all of my W-2s and all that kind of stuff. And then he gets really confused. And then all of a sudden, all these alerts started popping up. And he's like, well, why isn't this going there? Why isn't this going there? And he's clicking. Here he put all of my W-2s on a spouse. I'm not married.
Oh,
so he had to go back. So we're already an hour into it. And he had to go back and start from fresh and re-enter shit or like I don't know. And then he was looking for the code. There's like a certain code that you need to put in because if you like, let's say own your own business or whatever, like a lot of people own their own business. Is it a bakery? Is it a construction business? Like what type of business is it? And he was looking for the code. And after 15 minutes of doing that and clicking around all over, I finally said, well, why don't you look at my taxes from last year so you can get the code? Because I know the guy had the correct code. So he looked and he's like, oh, let me put that in. And he put it in. And he's like, well, I don't know what code that is. Let's see if we can find it. And then all of a sudden this other woman that was there in her cubicle had overheard us like struggling, and she rattles off these numbers and she's like, I had somebody come in yesterday who does YouTube videos and this is the code that you need to use. And I was just like, these people don't know what the bumfuck is happening. So mind you, when I went in to go like sign that thing, the thing wasn't working. So I didn't sign my name anywhere. I didn't sign anything. So then he says, after 2 hours of telling me that my federal taxes, I was going to be getting back $4 of my federal tax. Then he tells me that then he pulls up the screen that says $500. And I'm like, what's that? And he's like, well, that would be the bill for you, for me, because I had to do an extra whatever. And I'm like, I just sat here with you and you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And you're going to charge me $500 for me to get $4 back on my federal. And you don't even know if that's correct or not. So then he said that I have to come back today at 4 p.m. to get my state done. My state is so easy. It's like easy peasy, put everything in. Like, and I know I could do my state. And I thought to myself, So I told him I like wanted to be nice. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, you look really unsure. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm unsure because you told me it was going to be $400 and now all of a sudden it's $5. And then he started on this like sales pitch thing, stating that $300 out of the $500 I can claim on my taxes next year because it's business related. And I'm sitting there thinking, I don't even know if I'm going to be alive next year. Like, I'm worried about this year. I don't care about what I'm going to claim next year. Like, I just need to get my shit in order. So that all happened. So I'm supposed to go back today at 4, but then I started panicking. So I did a little Facebook like thing saying, is this right? Jasmine said that the same thing happened to her, only she signed the paper and they wouldn't give the papers back because I left all of my W-2s there because he had everything in a folder, and like everything that I needed. So I went online, or I already had the H&R Block app. And I went on there and I talked to a live person and I said, hey, I went yesterday to do my taxes. The guy told me I needed to come back. I didn't sign anything. They didn't file anything. I want to go with somebody else. Can I just go and pick up my W-2s? And they're like, yes, if they didn't file anything, if they didn't submit anything or anything, which he didn't file. He's like, you can absolutely go back and get your W-2s, no problem. So instead of going back at 4 o'clock today, I'm going back right after I drop you off at work and I'm going to get those files back. And I'm just going to say, because in the beginning he did say, if you ever feel uncomfortable or anything like that, you can always opt to get your taxes done by somebody else. He's like, just tell me, and that it'll be fine. He's like, up until I hit that button to file them, he said, you don't have to go with us. So.
Because you would have had to sign something.
Right. And he did try to get me to sign something on that little pad that was connected to his computer, but it wasn't like plugged in or something. And I tried signing it and like nothing, like it was dead. So I didn't sign anything. But I thought, holy shit, $500 for me to get $4 back. No, like absolutely not. Absolutely not. So then I called my old tax guy and he's like, yeah, Angela, he's like, as long as I did your taxes last year, he's like, you can come. He's like, I'm not accepting anyone new. He said, but he's like, I'll do them. He's like, we'll do them like we did last year. He's like, it's not a big deal. And then I thought if I want it, because he doesn't e-file. So I thought if I want to e-file, I can just go to that place in Menasha. It's like this e-filing place or whatever. And I can just pay that $10 or whatever it is to do that. But I thought, first of all, I wasted 2 hours of my time sitting with this guy. It was so crazy. It was like he didn't know. And he said that like he did this on the side, like he's got a business degree, all this other shit. Like, but yet when it came,
it's not like you made all this, millions of dollars.
Exactly. And what I was claiming, it wasn't all like craziness. And what I was claiming was less than what I made on YouTube. So it was like, it was so weird. He didn't know. I don't know.
I've never,
And then he tells me to stress me out even more. He's like, you are at a high red flag to get audited. And I'm like, oh. He's like, this is a very high red flag to get audited. I know. And I'm like, I'm just a regular lady in Wisconsin. Like, why would I get audited? That's so weird. Yeah, it's just so bizarre.
I can't believe that they would audit somebody that.
I mean, I'm sure they like randomly pick people, but he said that I had red flags, and I'm sitting there thinking, what red flag? Like, why am I a red flagger? I think he was trying to like scare me into me doing taxes with him so I wouldn't go anywhere else. What else did he say? He said something like, well, if you do decide to go with somebody else, he's like, with it being so late in the tax season, I don't know if you're going to be able to get an appointment with anyone else. And I thought, is that like, are you trying to scare me? Like, and then he specifically said that I'm meeting with him today after business hours, after he's done with the day. And like, this is not an appointment in the schedule book, that if I called to cancel this appointment, it's non-existent. I wouldn't be able to. It was all so shady. It was all so weird. And now I'm just like, I was freaking out all night thinking, oh my God, they have all of my W-2s. And a lot of my W-2s I couldn't get online. And like, they had my rent certificate thing.
Well, they have to give it back to you.
They have to give it back to me.
And,
and I didn't sign anything.
If they don't have it, legally, they would be in so much trouble.
Okay, good.
Well, it's a tax business. It's nationwide. It's not.
Right.
It's not like your tax guy does it on his own or whatever.
Right.
But this is.
And I should have taken them. I should have said, okay, well, let me take these back. But then I thought to myself, well, maybe he's going to work on these like tonight or something. I don't know. It was just so, and then he had said, well, let's break. Let's come back at it tomorrow. He's like, I've been here since 8 a.m. And I thought,
appointment?
It was at 3. I thought, if I'm giving you $500 of my money, you better not complain that you've been here all fucking day. Like, this is your job.
That
This
just
is what you
seems
signed up
high.
for. It was so weird, you guys. It was just so bizarre and
It's
wrong.
We've never used them, but.
And
that
I can
just
understand going to them for like something really easy. But then again, if it's that easy, you should be able to file online. No problem, for free with the Wisconsin whatever.
Yeah.
It was just so weird. So I've been stressing about that.
Well, I can see why, but
Yeah,
it's just nuts.
it is. Okay, everyone, now that I poured out my heart and my soul. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope everyone has a great Monday.
Yeah.
Leave your comments down below. Let me know if you've ever been to that tax place and if anything like this has ever happened to you. Because if it has, then you know exactly what I'm going through.
Thank you again for the candle.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye.